Good morning po. And
Mm.
please start now the interview. So, good morning, Ma'am Elsie, Dr. Elsie. My name is Karil Joy Pabilonia, and today we are having the interview related to the SDS. And ma'am, are you ready na po for our question and answer?
Yes.
Thank you po. So, ma'am, the first question is, let me just, um, okay, ma'am. So the first question is, can you introduce yourself and could you share where you studied and where you've worked, ma'am?
Okay. I finished Bachelor of Science in Chemistry in UP Diliman. Then I took up Master of Science in Biochemistry at UP Manila and finished my PhD in Molecular Biology and Biotechnology at UP Diliman. My first job was in a multinational pharmaceutical company, Scribb and Sons, but I stayed there only for 2 months as a quality control analyst trainee. Then I went to UP Manila as a research assistant, where I worked there for a period of 4 years. After that, I was recruited at University of the Philippines, Baguio, as an instructor in chemistry, where I rose from the rank of instructor 1 to professor 12 over a period of 35 years. During my stint at UP Baguio, I had the opportunity to undertake an international postgraduate university course in chemistry and chemical engineering at Tokyo Institute of Technology in Japan for 1 year under the UNESCO Research Fellowship Grant. I also had a short-term advanced training course in photosynthesis and algal biotechnology in Ben Gurion University of the Negev in Israel for a period of 2 months. Then, for my PhD, I obtained a grant from DOST Philippines, where which supported my PhD for 4 years, in addition to a uh, a sandwich program that was done at the University of Utah, and also a postdoctoral fellowship under the DOST Engineering and Science Education Project for a period of about 1.5 years. After that, the University of Utah uh, then invited me to do research on periodic visits every time during summer and semestral breaks, where we did research on cone snail peptides, which I will elaborate later on. And this lasted for about 3.5 years cumulative period. I also got an associateship, research associateship from the World Academy of Sciences in Universidad Nacional del Sur in Argentina for a period of 4 months. When I retired in 2010, I was granted the honorific appointment with the permanent title of Professor Emeritus, and currently I serve in the UP system research evaluation committees as co-chair of 2 committees under the Office of the Vice President for Academic Affairs. I also do research on cone snail peptides. Again, I will elaborate later on, for publication in international journals. And I also contribute popular science articles to the UP Baguio newsletter, Tisimilia. Okay.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing all of your experiences with us, ma'am. And for the second question, ma'am, let me. Okay. What are the challenges have you encountered at your work, ma'am?
Okay, maybe as a faculty member, the greatest challenge that I encountered was when many students in chemistry classes obtained failing grades despite my conscientious preparation and effort in teaching the course. Also, as a researcher, I encountered the greatest challenge when we made a hypothesis and later on did not get the expected results or even negative results in the experiments.
I see, so that's really a challenge with you. And thank you for sharing that as well to us. So now let's proceed, ma'am, to the third question, which is considering the science, technology, and society, STS, perspective, how do you see biotechnology influencing societal values, beliefs, and attitudes?
I think this can be linked to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Are you familiar with that? There are 17 Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, and number one is no poverty. Second is zero hunger. I think that the country's national problems that need to be addressed are hunger and poverty because this result in malnutrition, undernutrition also, which lead to impaired physical growth and mental disabilities. And this can be traced to low productivity in agriculture, as well as food insecurity, the inability to develop agriculture using innovation in biotechnology that hinders the development of manufacturing sector that could promote jobs and livelihoods. Also, may I mention the Global Innovation Index? Are you familiar with that? GII, Global
Actu-
Innovation Index. Okay.
Actually, yeah,
The
this is
Global
first.
Innovation Index is published by the World Intellectual Property Organization, or WIPO. It is a UN agency that ranks 132 economies in terms of innovation inputs and outputs. The Philippines is ranked number 56 among 132 countries in the world that were chosen, that were selected by WIPO. And in terms of innovation input, it's 69th place, and innovation output in the 52nd place, which are not relatively high.
Yes.
Worst is the human capital and development, which is in the 88th place among 132 countries. And the criteria in human capital and development include students in science and engineering, researchers, research and development or R&D, corporate R&D investors, and guess what? The QS University ranking. Well, in connection with that, let me congratulate PUP for having obtained the 551 to 600 rank place in the latest QS ranking 2024. Okay. And I think that with that, we can say that there is a direct link in research and development and innovation, and economic prosperity. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree, ma'am. Actually,
Okay.
this is the first time that we know regarding to the rankings that we are currently having, and we're so thankful for giving us some insights about that one, ma'am. So
Mm-mm.
yes, ma'am. So now let's proceed to the fourth question, ma'am, which is how does your work in biotechnology align with or contribute to broader specific and societal goals?
Okay. I think that in this is in terms of global health and well-being,
Mhm.
quality education, innovation, and life underwater. Again, I will elaborate in the succeeding uh, discussion.
Okay, thank you so much. So for the fifth question, ma'am, in what ways does public perception and understanding of biotechnology impact its development and acceptance?
I think there are two important applications of biotechnology that will affect that, and that is improve productivity in agriculture through biotechnological innovation, and also the maintenance of good health and well-being through the delivery of effective medicines and vaccines.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for that one. So for the next ma'am, next question, can you share your contributions to biotechnology?
Okay. For the past several decades, I have been involved in research in collaboration with the Marine Science, UP Diliman Marine Science Institute, the University of Utah faculty, researchers, and students, and currently with UP Diliman faculty of the National Institute of Molecular Biology and Biotechnology and the National Institute of Physics. The work that we are doing is focused on marine biotechnology. We are working on toxins that are found in venoms of predatory marine snails with the genus Conus, uh, commonly known as cone snails. And these toxins, known as conotoxins or conopeptides, are involved in uh, serving as tools or serve as tools in understanding the brain functions as well as the dysfunction in neurotransmission that can uh, that can explain or elucidate the different heart, brain, and muscle conditions such as neuropathic pain, Parkinson's disease, ischemia, uh, epilepsy, among others. I think the greatest contribution that I had in biotechnology was my discovery of a cone snail peptide. Peptide is a small protein that causes steep tail syndrome when injected into mice. That work was published in the Journal of Biological Chemistry in 1996 as part of my dissertation for my PhD. Uh, in 1998, surprisingly, it was uh, up for sale, or the synthetic version of that peptide was listed for sale by Bachem. Bachem is a multinational biotechnology company based in Switzerland. But since we did not have a patent yet for Contrifan, we did not get any benefit from the invention. And anyway, they acknowledge our publication as the reference for the peptide.
I see, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing your insights once again. So now for the last question, ma'am. What advice would you give to someone interested in pursuing a career in biotechnology or related fields?
Okay. First, maybe I will explain more fully, more clearly, what biotechnology is. It is one that utilizes cellular materials and living cells to produce pharmaceutical, agricultural, and other products for society. Common processes include baking bread and brewing. An important part of biotechnology is the development of pharmaceutical proteins or peptides and other drugs uh, through genetic engineering. Vaccine preparations are produced also through biotechnology, the medical biotechnology. And also, biotechnology is used to modify genetic information in animals in order to understand the human diseases. Also, maybe I will tell the prospective biotechnologies that we need to grow and sustain high level of innovation to biotechnology. Note that in the Philippines, there were only 280 scientists per million population as of December 2022. This was reported by the National Research Council of the Philippines Executive Director in our meeting in 2022. And so the country really needs more scientists, including biotechnologists that will develop more products, novel products for the society. And I would also tell him that the invention of new biotechnological products will offer a lot of benefits to the inventors, of course, with the copyright and all. Um, and of course, being uh, appreciated by society. That I think that's very good enough. And maybe uh, I would I would hope that this will serve as a big challenge to the prospective biotechnologists.
Yes, ma'am.
So yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. And I agree with you, ma'am, that you know, we really need more biotechnologies here in the Philippines. So now, ma'am, I want you to thank you, ma'am, Dr. Elsie Jimenez, for sharing all of your insights today. And thank you for being with us, ma'am. So, if do you have any message, ma'am, as before we go, ma'am, you have any message?
Uh, so you are, I understand Shane is in IC, IT. Are you also, all of you, in
Yes,
IT?
ma'am.
Well, that's
Yes.
also important. I think we can also contribute to our innovation goal in the
Yes,
Philippines. So I hope you will stay. I hope you will stay in the
in
country
the
and help
country.
the country and support our society. Yes, I think
Yes,
I and I plead sana.
yes, ma'am.
Mm.
Thank you so much for giving us inspiration regarding on this one, ma'am. So now, ma'am, we really appreciate your time and your all of your advices to us, ma'am. So again, this is Karil Joy Pabelonia, ma'am, and have a great day, ma'am. Thank you again.
Okay. Congrats again for being in the QS ranking of QS University, World
Yes, ma'am.
University ranking. Yes,
Congrats to us, ma'am.
I'm happy for that.
Yes, ma'am. Me too. Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you. Thank you also.
I personally know Dr. Elsie Jimenez and nagpupunta ako sa house nila and may mga nakikita pa ako mga naka-display na fossils. Nakaka-proud kasi ang dami niyang na-achieve sa buhay niya and ayun, sobrang talino niya lalo na sa science and math. Until now, kahit senior na siya, nagtuturo pa rin siya sa UP Baguio about chemistry and nagre-research pa rin siya. At saka sobrang willing siyang ma-interview ng mga students kahit walang kapalit. I think naman kahit yung mga members ko, may mga natutunan sila, may mga knowledge lang nakuha and I think mas madami pa kung mas mahaba lang din yung time.
So my insights about the interview on Dr. Elsie about biotechnology is that she's very well versed on her crafts. I think she really had the background. She shared it very informatively. I think for me, biotechnology does not only stay on the lab. She really saw the practicality of it. She saw what's gonna be the use and how it's gonna solve future problems in the long run. She inspired us that this is not only how to think, that there are future on biotechnology and to evolve to to solve hunger, poverty, and also to achieve the goals. From what I've heard, UN developmental goals or something like that. That's it. I think it inspires me that there are also other ways to help our planet with very special knowledge such as biotechnology. That's all.
So, hello, my name is Jean-Marc Esserin, and my insight after the interview with Dr. Elsie Jimenez is that STS is really a fundamental part of our lives because, as she said, that STS can be linked with the SDGs, which is the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and it can lead to different um, um, problems. And I think we should be focusing on developing a sustainable and um, and how can we use or utilize the STS to have a better life. And I am really um, touched by the experience that she have and all of the achievements that she achieved, because it makes me believe that I can also achieve all the things that I want. And all of um, her advices and all of her insights about life is very overwhelming and very heartful. That that is my insight about the interview with Dr. Elsie Jimenez.
The interview with Dr. Elsie Jimenez highlights the intricate connection between the education, research, and societal impact within the biotechnology field. It emphasizes the potential of the biotechnology to address global challenges, the need for local expertise, and the importance of effective communication and ensuring the successful integration of biotechnological advancements into society. That's all. Thank you.